You've probably seen the quizzes, read the books, joined the forums. Are you an HSP? Are you a highly sensitive person? And if you don't know, send me a DM or a WhatsApp or an email, and I will let you know or send you the link to find out for yourself. But if you already do know, then you know it is comforting to have an answer. But what if the label is just the beginning of your story and not the headline? What if you're not here to manage your sensitivity, but to create with it? Hi, everybody. Welcome back to HPTV channel. I'm your host, Barbara, and today I want to talk about the comfort, but also the cage of the label highly sensitive person. You learn to spot the signs, crowds that drain you, noises that are just too much, energies that overwhelm you. And then you discover you're a highly sensitive person, an HSP. And you start looking for your people. You find your people. And you talk about overwhelm as if it is a kind of badge. I am sensitive, so I feel deeply. It connects you. It makes sense of why you're always so exhausted. But eventually, the label just becomes another script. Every feeling, every choice, every hesitation is explained by, oh, but I'm an HSP. You start shrinking to fit the stereotype, afraid to step outside of the box that once gave you so much relief. I remembered when I first discovered I was a highly sensitive person. At first, I thought, oh my God, there are other people like me. I'm not weird. I'm not strange. It felt like I came home to myself. And when I first started learning about everything it really was amazing. But the more I read and the more I learned, the more I started feeling like, ooh, I'm not sure if this is completely me. And I started feeling like this also doesn't completely cover everything that is me. And eventually I started feeling limited with the HSP label. This is also when you start seeing the shift in my business away from high sensitivity as the only thing that I'm doing and more towards a broader perspective because labels, they define us and they keep us stuck in a box. And in the end, that is not where we want to be. So, what is really happening underneath all of this? I want you to know that your sensitivity isn't a flaw that you have to manage. It is a frequency that you need to learn to wield. Because when you hide as the sensitive one, you give away your power. And your energy isn't something that you simply endure. It is your tool for shaping your reality because everything revolves around energy, around vibration, and your thoughts, the things you think to yourself, the words you speak to yourself, they are what is instrumental in shaping your reality. So imagine your nervous system as a sort of antenna that helps you tune to the subtle frequencies of people, of places, of opportunities, of events. But an antenna can only broadcast when it's not stuck on one station. So, how do we then shift from being an HSP as a label to using your sensitivity to create? How do you stop living in survival mode, in defense mode? These are excellent questions. First, you need to notice where the label that you put on yourself, whether it's an HSP or an HSO or an HSS or maybe an empath or ADHD, autism, it really doesn't matter, any type of label. And notice where this label is limiting you. Notice where you withdrew from yourself, from the world, where you explained your behavior instead of just acting the way you are, when you started apologizing for who you are, how you act, what you believe, even before you voiced your opinion. And then experiment with presence. Feel the energy in your body without having to narrate it, without having to explain it, without having to put it into words. Just feel. Scan your body. What are you feeling in which part of your body, and how is it making you feel, and what does it feel like? And then breathe in to this tension and then redirect it. Choose your frequency rather than letting the world pick it for you. I don't know if you are familiar with the vibrancy scale, where on the bottom you have low frequency emotions like anger or sadness or frustration, and then you move up the scale, and the highest frequency is love and gratitude. If not, look it up or send me a message. I would be more than happy to send it to you. This is vibration, this is frequency. And when you are worried or doubting yourself or making yourself small, you are in a low frequency, in a low vibration. But if you are like most people, you want love and you want happiness and you want money and you want freedom, and all of these things are high frequency things. So if you constantly operate in a low frequency, you can never attract or get the things that are high frequency. I hope that this makes some sense to you. I would love to hear your thoughts around this topic, so leave me a comment below this video. And I've even seen it in my own life. At the times I hid from tough conversations, or when I blamed my sensitivity for the things that were happening or the way I was acting. And that only made me realize later on that I was just hiding from who I really am. I was hiding from the world, from myself even. And in the moments where I leaned into the energy, where I stood in a noisy room and chose to protect myself, choosing my own words, setting the tone, not just for myself, but for everyone that was there, that is the moment where I started creating my own reality. So let me ask you this. Who would you be if you weren't the sensitive one? Who would you be if you weren't the highly sensitive one? Who would you be if you were not the empath, the ADHD, or the autist, whatever label you are attracted to? If you were the one setting the vibration in your life and deciding on what frequency you would be operating, what would you set it to? Try it today. Notice also the energy, your energy. Feel into your energy. Make a different choice. Skip explaining who you are. Skip explaining why it needs to be this way because you are such and such and such. And then see what shifts. If you want a space where your energy is your power, not your problem, then you might want to join my solutions community. There are different ways of joining. You can become a free member and be inspired, never miss any of my articles, blogs, and such ever again. You can also choose one of the paid options, for instance, the HSP Cafe, where you can meet with other highly sensitive people, with other empaths, other people like you, where we don't really do in labels, but where we just connect on a deep soul level that's just not possible with other people. You can also join the Solutions for Life and Business, where we go deeper into who you really are and the things that you might be struggling with in your personal life, in your work life, in your business life, and where we go and find solutions for those. And if you are just wanting to dive deeper into who you really are so that you can discover your true frequency, you might want to purchase your BU by Design Blueprint. This is a unique, handcrafted, by myself personally document of 40 pages that will give you a deep insight in who you are and why your life has been the way it is. And if you are just not sure, maybe you have a question, maybe you want to work one-on-one with me, then I'd love to invite you to book a one-on-one clarity call with me. It's free. And in that, we have a chance to get to know each other. And then we can map out how you create and not just cope. If you are new to this channel, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to it, maybe hit the notification bell so that you will never miss another video again. And if you found this to be valuable, then it would mean the world to me if you would share it with your followers, with your people, with your tribe, because you never know who needed to hear this message today. For today, I wish you an amazing rest of your day, and I look forward to inspiring you with another video next week.